But Murray, you were in London yesterday, as you mentioned. A busy day for yourself, a bit of a scattered day, I think, when you've got so many people speaking, so many people involved.
Yeah, it is. You're essentially got all the head coaches, all the captains. They've got to go through about 7 or 8 different rooms for interviews for online, radio, daily newspapers, Sunday newspapers. So there's a bit of fatigue there on probably both sides. But you do get to get a sense of what's to come, and wow, the build up to that England-Ireland game is immense. A lot of talk about the physical side of it yesterday from both coaches, talking about the size of the respective teams and trying to say that you're bigger than us, that kind of thing. But the word brutality was often mentioned, and I think it was just highlighted again by Joe Schmidt, as he tends to do. The returning Vunipola brothers, Manu Tuolagi's back in the mix, Chris Ashton's in that squad. England are going to be in a stronger place than they have been probably for the last 2 seasons, I'd say. And given the fact that they've lost those games to Ireland in the last 2 years as well, there's going to be a lot of motivation there, especially with that build-up, as Bernard says, loads of time to analyse. It's interesting that they're both in Portugal at the moment. A 20-minute drive separates the 2 teams, so there was lots of talk about spying as well yesterday.
The Bielsa effect.
Yeah. But I think they'll have a really good sense of what's coming, albeit with England having a few new faces back. I just can't wait for that game to kick off. It's going to be fascinating to see what Joe Schmidt has built on what Ireland did in 2018.
Yeah, it's a dangerous one, Bernard, to open a Six Nations, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we have to realise England are a different animal with Vunipola. The Vunipola's back and potentially Tuolagi. And I think as well, potentially England last year, I know they definitely put a huge focus on their conditioning. You know, Eddie Jones, when he came into the job, he said, "Oh, but we're not fit enough. By the time of the World Cup, we're going to be the fittest team in the World Cup." And that spark and intensity and I suppose a new voice led to much better results year one. So obviously they had a big bounce factor and more successful. And then he brought a young group, I don't know if you remember, to Argentina, and they set record levels in terms of their intensity, in terms of what they could do on a Tuesday. And when the senior players came back in that November, he kind of said, "Look, there's a new target," and a lot of them broke down, or actually just looked flat on a Saturday. And he kind of stuck through that in the Six Nations and said, no, it's about 2019 Japan. But obviously results didn't go his way. Now he had a little, November was better. But I think now given the backlash in the media, I think he'll be very focused on the Six Nations as an entity in itself, with a view to obviously trying to win it, but if not, have confidence and momentum going towards the World Cup, rather than just saying, "Oh, it's just the Six Nations is a prep for the World Cup, and we're going to, get a pre-season in during the Six Nations." So I think England will be a lot better. And if you look at their locks, for example, like they've got 4 locks: Courtney Laws, Itoje, Cruz, and Launchbury. One of them won't make the matchday squad. So that gives you an example of the strength and depth they can have if in certain positions.
Just